Hi guys, welcome to OCD Recovery. I wanted to talk about gut feelings and OCD. Trying to differentiate what's real, what's OCD, trying to figure out, is my gut feeling trying to tell me something? Is my sixth sense trying to give me some kind of, extra knowledge? Is my body trying to indicate something that maybe I'm in danger or something like that? So we try to read those clues and read those signs to get more information and try to have certainty over our fears and situation. But before I go on, please subscribe to the channel, please like this video, please comment and let us know what other topics you would like to hear, and let us know if you find this helpful as well. So often some of the subtle forms of reassurance that we don't even realize that are happening, or when people say that, oh, I know deep down I know what's real, right? It's just that my thoughts are saying this, but deep down I know what's reality. Or when it's like, no, I know the logic, realistically I know what it is, it's just that the thoughts are like, bothering me. Or when people say that, yeah, no, I know that, but just tell me, how do I deal with the thoughts? How do I just like get rid of the thoughts? And that's almost like asking that, okay, how can I deal with the thoughts and then just get back to my life, right? And how can I just be rid of this? And that's also trying to look for a quick fix. Or even then saying to yourself, I know this is just OCD, right? That is also reassuring yourself, right? Or wanting to hear the other person tell you, hey, this is just OCD, this is not real, you're not crazy, this is just a disorder, this is just the OCD thoughts. That does act as reassurance, because no matter how much you try to tell yourself that, or no matter how much somebody else tries to tell you that, the doubt will always come, and OCD will always be like, no, but what if it is real? No, but what if like this will happen? So, which is why we always talk about working on breaking down our worst case scenario. That's why that is always important, because the element of doubt will always be there, and a certain amount of uncertainty will always be there, just like it is in real life, even with people without OCD. There's so many uncertainties that we live with on a daily basis, right? But it's important to recognize these statements, because let's say if you're trying to describe OCD to someone, to a loved one, or even to like if you're coming in for one-to-one calls with us or something like that. So of course, if you're telling and you very seamlessly say that, yeah, I know that this is just OCD and these are just thoughts, and I know what's real. It's just that I'm still bothered by it, right? Sure. I mean, in trying to casually say it the first time and explaining what's going on in your head, there's nothing like inherently wrong with that. However, when these statements and when these statements are used for over a long period of time and very, very regularly, these are self-reassuring compulsive statements, because it's not taking you towards unconditional acceptance. One of the most common themes I see this with is ROCD, because people are always, they'll write a paragraph of like, this is what I'm experiencing, these are the fears I'm experiencing. I have a fear that I may have cheated, or I feel like my partner may have cheated. I feel like my love for my partner is, finishing. I'm losing my connection. What if we don't last forever? So those are coming up. And then there will be a paragraph of like, but no, I know I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. I know that I love them so much. I know that this is the best person for me. I just don't know how to shake it off, right? So with our OCD, this is like the most common thing. So as far as gut feelings go, our gut feelings as OCD sufferers, our gut feelings are hijacked by OCD. Because let me put it as directly as this: if I listen to my gut feelings at all times, I would have never done any exposures, because my gut feelings were very strongly telling me all the time that I need to stay away from exposures. I don't need to do those scary things. I don't need to I don't need to stop asking for reassurance. I don't need to stop confessing. I don't need to touch things that I thought were contaminated. So, and I would have just never recovered, because I was constantly like, no, but also like, not just gut feelings, but also people are like, no, but my body is telling me this. My body is trying to indicate something to me. My body was definitely not willing to do any exposure at all. Even when I had kind of decided that, okay, I'm going to do exposures, in a sense, my body was retaliating, my brain was retaliating, my gut was retaliating. So your gut, body, sixth sense, your brain will often not be on board with you when you're about to do uncomfortable things or when you're trying to break down beliefs, because it will always be like, oh, you shouldn't be working on acceptance, because if you accept, that means you will actually become a serial killer, right? So it will always be like, no, I need to go with my gut. And by the way, what also starts happening is, and one of the reasons that people want to cling on to that fear is because they use that as an indication that I can keep myself in check. So, for example, if you stay fearful of breaking up with your partner, you feel like, as long as I'm fearful, I will not break up. Or as long as I'm fearful of being a serial killer, therefore I won't ever do anything, right? And so people also then use gut feelings or that fear response in your body as a sign that, oh, this means I'm still a good person. Oh, this still means I actually don't want to do this. Right? So then that fear loop also starts. That kind of self reassurance loop also starts where because essentially what you're doing is you're using the presence or absence of these feelings or these senses as certainty, as getting some kind of answer that oh, my fear is not true, or my worst case scenario won't come true, that kind of thing. So that's also something that people then don't, one of the reasons people don't want to then work on recovery is because they think that fear and anxiety and gut feelings are like a safety mechanism for them, which is exactly what then needs to be done. You need to do those scary, risky things, like not asking for reassurance, like not confessing, like not checking your memories for did I cheat, did I not cheat, like not avoiding knives or watching movies about serial killers or things like that, right? These are just two examples that I'm giving because these are some of the most common ones. ROCD, harm OCD are some of the most common ones that come up when it comes to gut feelings and listening to your body and your sixth sense and things like that. And with that, what's also happening side by side is you differentiating what's OCD and what's real. So if you're constantly trying to categorize, oh, this is just an OCD thought, or if you're labeling your thoughts that, oh, this is just an OCD thought and not real, this is just an OCD thought and not real, then again, you're indulging in a reassurance compulsion, because that differentiation is what's keeping you away from accepting uncertainty, because you don't want uncertainty and you think in that uncertainty is inherently a bad thing. Uncertainty is not inherently a bad thing. It's your perspective of uncertainty that's a bad thing, because it's the uncertainty of whether the relationship will last or not is what keeps us going in the relationship as well. Because if we're not entirely sure whether this will last, we are then pushed to make more of an effort to be like, to have a good relationship, right? So I'm just talking in general terms, right? In relationships, obviously when two people are together, there's no scientific way of proving that they will be together for the rest of their life. So the uncertainty that they at some point might not be together does exist, right? So, and they also know that, which is why couples will try to then make an effort to strengthen the relationship over time and keep the spark going, because of the uncertainty that it will end someday, right? So uncertainty plays a very vital role in human lives in general, such as even like, oh, what happens after death? If people knew what happens after death, then everyone would probably spend their entire life obsessing over what is about to happen. Just like if you were told that there is going to be a tornado next week, you're just going to be thinking about that and preparing for that. Or if you were told that your favorite band was about to play a concert in your city and you were getting exclusive tickets, that's all you would be thinking about, that, oh, what will happen? What will happen? I need to plan for that. I need to go there. I need to do this, that. So uncertainty plays a key role in human lives. Not knowing actually gives us the luxury of like being in the present moment and just living day by day and still going towards our goals. Because if there was absolute certainty with everything, we would take life for granted. We would not make any effort for anything. We'd be lazy, and yeah, we won't be going out and trying to make our goals and desires and dreams happen that way. Sorry, this was a slight tangent on a slight philosophical tangent on this topic, but I think it's important when it comes to trying to discuss gut feelings, because essentially that's coming from a place of that I need to have absolute certainty. I need to read into whatever clues my body, my brain is giving me to have absolute certainty, because uncertainty is intolerable. Uncertainty is like the most devastating thing, and I will be miserable forever if I'm uncertain forever. That's where that kind of catastrophic thinking is, where this cycle of listening to your gut or analyzing your gut is coming from. Um, and essentially, what you have to look at is that no matter whether you know it is OCD or not, or whether you firmly believe that no, deep down I still love this person, you're still afraid of your intrusive thoughts. You're still afraid that they might be true. So that is still something that needs to be looked at. Just because you know something, or you feel like you know that something is real or not, does not take away the fear element that the intrusive thoughts bring. It does not take away the fact that you're still afraid that your thoughts might come true, and that you are really trying to dismantle that fear, like just immediately, right here, right now. You're trying to look for a quick fix. You're trying to just make that go away and just, like I said, just get back to life. If I can just do these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps and just get rid of this, I can get back to living a normal, happy life, right? So yeah, those are some of the main things that are happening here. And essentially also the fear of fear cycle over here, because you think that if you either there can be two things. Either it's like, if I keep having these gut feelings, what if I'm stuck like this for the rest of my life? Or it's that if I go against my gut, what if it gets worse than this and then I'm stuck for the rest of my life? So it's also coming from a very strong fear of fear framework and mindset as well. I'm just trying to make sure I've covered everything. Yes, I think I've covered everything I wanted to. This is a shorter video than I do usually, but I think it was an important thing to cover, because usually gut feelings, listening to your body and listening to your brain and sixth sense and your intuition, these things are very misplaced as far as OCD advice goes, and it's often very, very, very misunderstood, because it goes into that reassurance territory again, and it goes into that, no, but you're still a good person, no, but if you're feeling this, that means you actually don't want this to happen, this means that you are at heart a really amazing person. So those are that's very tricky territory to go into. And linked to this is also our absolute clinging on to our values and wanting to never ever lose our values, or not wanting to do anything ever in any single instance of life that goes against our values. But that's a separate topic, and we've done quite a few videos on where values and rational thinking overlap. So I would highly suggest you scroll down this channel and go into some of those videos. But I hope you found this helpful, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.